Hey fighters, the sun is coming up. A new day is starting. Before you grab your phone and before you let the world tell you what kind of person you should be, you have a choice. This is one moment where your mind is still yours, where amazing things can happen in the quiet, where the person you hope to become is waiting for you to speak. Words are not just sounds that disappear into the air. They are little seeds you push into the dirt of your mind. They are the builders that construct the house you live inside. They are the guide that points your life in one direction or another. The wise thinkers from long ago knew this very well. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman boss who ruled the whole world but learned to rule himself first, wrote in his secret notebook, "How happy you are depends on how good your thoughts are." He understood that the fight for a great life is won or lost right there in your head. In those first quiet moments when you pick which voice gets to talk, most people wake up and give up right away. They reach for their phones and let being scared talk through the scary news. They let wishing they were someone else talk through social media. They let worry talk by replaying yesterday's mistakes or the unsure feelings about tomorrow. They give away their morning, which means they give away their day, which means they give away their whole life. But you are here because something inside you refuses to accept that anymore. What if the words you speak to yourself first thing aren't just empty words? What if they are the base that your whole day is built upon? What if fixing your brain isn't about hard plans or years of talking to a therapist, but about 5 simple words said with real purpose, with belief, and with the knowledge that you are speaking to the most important person you will ever know, yourself? Science backs up this idea. Neuroplasticity, which is the way your brain can change itself, shows us that our thoughts make pathways for messages to travel. Say a thought enough times, and it becomes a huge highway in your brain. Your mind actually rebuilds itself based on what you feed it. The words you say in the morning are the first meal your mind eats. Make it healthy, make it strong, make it count. Today I'm giving you 5 words. Not sentences, not long stories. Just 5 words that hold the power of the old wise lessons and the strength to change how you see yourself, your problems, and what you can do. These are not magic spells. They won't work if you say them one time and forget them. But if you promise to speak them every morning, if you let them soak into your bones, they will change you. They will fix the patterns in your head that have kept you stuck. They will build a version of you that is tougher, calmer, and more focused. The wise thinkers were not just philosophers who hid in quiet rooms. They were men and women who faced real battles, real losses, and real sadness. Epictetus was a slave who became one of the greatest teachers in history. Seneca gave advice to emperors while facing being sent away and death. Marcus Aurelius led armies while writing about feeling peaceful inside. They found their strength not by running away from life's hard parts, but by changing how they talked to themselves about those hard parts. They became masters of the inside voice, and you can too. Your mind is listening right now. It is waiting for directions. It is ready to be rebuilt, reprogrammed, and pointed in the right way. The question is, what will you tell it? Will you repeat the same tired stories about what you can't do, the same fears dressed up like facts, the same excuses disguised as wisdom? Or will you speak to yourself like someone who deserves great things, like someone who can grow, like someone who knows the morning is a special, important time? Before we get into the details, if this message feels right to you, if you feel that pull to change, click the like button, write a note below, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Sign up for this channel because we are building something here, a group of people who won't settle for a boring inner life. And don't skip any part of this video. Every word is important. Stay with me until the very end. Let's start the fixing process. Write this in the notes if it rings true. My words make my reality. Number 1, I pick how I act. Life is going to push you around. That isn't just a maybe, it is a 100% promise. The big question isn't whether hard times will show up. The real question is, who gets to decide what those hard times mean? Every morning when you tell yourself, I pick how I act, you are taking charge of the one thing nobody can ever steal from you. They can't take it through your problems, and they can't take it through your fast feelings. It is the gap between what happens to you and what you decide to do next. A man named Viktor Frankl, who lived through a very scary time in a prison camp, found this secret when things were at their worst. He explained that between something happening and what we do next, there is a tiny bit of time. In that tiny space, we have the power to pick our move. In that choice, we find a way to grow and be free. Think about what this looks like. Your phone pings with a note that messes up your whole week. Your body hurts because an old boo-boo starts stinging again. You see a friend making a choice that you know will hurt them. A goal you really wanted hits a big wall. In every one of these moments, you reach a fork in the road. One path is just acting without thinking, which is what most people do. They feel like they can't do anything. They let being grumpy ruin their whole day. They tell themselves stories about why life is mean to them. But when you get up and say, "I pick how I act," you are practicing how to take the other path, the path where you think first. You are reminding yourself that you aren't a leaf being blown around by the wind. You aren't a doll being moved by strings that other people pull. You are a human being who has a say, who has a choice, and who has strength. This is what the wise Stoics taught. A teacher named Epictetus said we don't pick what happens to us, but we totally pick how we handle it. He said some things are up to us and some things aren't. What is up to you? Your thoughts, your goals, and your actions. What is not up to you? Almost everything else, the rain, what other people do, what happened yesterday, or what happens tomorrow. When you waste your energy trying to fix things you can't change, you get weak. When you put all your power into the one thing you can change, your own move, you become a superhero. Let's be real about how to do this. You wake up tomorrow. Before you look at your phone, before you start thinking about your to-do list of worries, you talk to yourself. I pick how I act. Say it slowly. Say it like you really mean it. You are setting up your brain for the day. You are deciding right now that you aren't someone who just snaps back, but someone who chooses an answer. You aren't being bossed around. You are the boss. Then life tests you. You get news that you have less money than you thought. Your first feeling is to flip out or feel really sad. But because you started with those 5 words, you pause. For a second you remember, I pick how I act. You can still feel worried, that's normal. But you don't let it pull you down into a deep hole. You don't act like it's the end of the world. You look at the problem calmly. You make a plan. You give an answer instead of just reacting like a robot. Maybe someone you really liked lets you down in a big way. The old you would have carried that sadness around like a heavy rock in your chest for months, but you have changed your brain. I pick how I act. You decide to feel the hurt without letting it make you feel like you aren't good enough. You decide if you want to talk it out or just stay away. Either way, you are the one choosing. You aren't letting the problem choose for you. You are the writer of the story, not just a character following the script. This isn't about hiding your feelings or pretending everything is great when it's not. It is about seeing that between the bad thing and the next thing, there is power. Your power, the power to stop, the power to take a breath, and the power to ask, who do I want to be right now? Which move helps me grow, keeps me peaceful, and follows my rules? You change your brain by doing this over and over. Your brain has spent years building fast tracks that go straight from a problem to a blow-up. You can't fix those tracks in one night, but you can build new ones that are even stronger. Every time you say, I pick how I act in the morning, you are laying down a new track. Every time you actually stop and choose during the day, you make that track tougher. After a while, choosing becomes what you do naturally. Picking your move becomes who you are. Marcus Aurelius was the leader of a huge empire, but he dealt with mean plots, lies, sickness, and wars. He could have been a bully, or been very cruel, or just given up. Instead, he chose to be wise. He chose to be patient. He chose to see hard walls as ways to practice being a good person. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not the things happening outside. Know this, and you will be strong." Say it every single morning. I pick how I act. Feel how important those words are. Feel the freedom in them. You aren't helpless, you aren't a victim, you are someone who makes choices. If this helps you, write a note. I am the boss of how I act. Number 2, growing happens right here. Hurting is not your enemy. Feeling uneasy does not mean something has gone wrong. The second you feel pushed past what feels safe or what you are used to, that isn't the world trying to punish you. That is growing knocking on your front door. When you wake up and say, growing happens right here, you are making a big promise. You are telling your brain that this day, this moment, and this hard thing in front of you is not a trouble you should run away from. It is like good dirt, where a new plant can start to grow its roots. The wise people of the past called this amor fati, which means loving your story. It's not just putting up with what happens, but giving it a hug because it helps you become who you are meant to be. A writer named Seneca said that hard times make the mind strong, just like hard work makes the body strong. He knew that we don't get better when things are easy. We get better when there is a struggle between who we are now and who we are trying to be. Most people spend their whole lives hiding from things that feel tough. They stay in places that make them feel sad because leaving feels too difficult. They avoid talking about serious things because they are scared of a fight. They keep their dreams tiny because trying for something huge means they might fail. They have tricked themselves into thinking that being cozy is the same thing as being happy. But being too cozy is where dreams go to die. It is where your superpowers get buried under the pile of maybe I'll do it later. When you say growing happens right here every single morning, you are changing how you feel about tough stuff. You are teaching your brain to look at a challenge in a new way. That nervous feeling you get before trying something new isn't being weak. That is your old self making room for your new self. That grumpy feeling you get when you aren't getting better fast enough isn't failing. That is just your personality getting more meat on its bones. That tired feeling you have after pushing yourself isn't you falling apart. That is you breaking through a wall. Here is what this looks like in your real life. You sit down to learn something you've been avoiding for years. Maybe it's a new language, a guitar, or a craft you've watched people do from far away. The first few times you try, you feel clumsy. Your fingers don't go where you want them to. Your brain can't remember all the rules at once. Every part of you wants to quit and go back to things you're already good at so you don't feel silly. But you started your morning saying, growing happens right here. So you stop, you breathe, and you name that feeling. This isn't failing. This is the feeling of your brain making new connections. This is your brain actually changing its shape to fit in new things you learned. You keep going, not because it feels fun, but because you have taught yourself that feeling stuck is a sign you are on the right track. Or maybe the tough stuff is about your feelings. A friendship in your life needs a new rule that you've been too scared to make. Your heart beats fast just thinking about the talk. Your brain gives you 1,000 reasons to stay quiet, keep everyone happy, and not stir up any trouble. The fear feels giant because you are about to do something your body has been told to avoid. Putting your own needs first, even if it makes someone else a little sad. Growing happens right here, right inside this fear. It's right in this moment where you are choosing to take care of yourself even though it feels scary. The old paths in your brain are yelling at you to run away, but you are building new, stronger paths that understand that loving yourself sometimes means making other people a little uncomfortable. It means that respecting yourself sometimes means other people won't get why you're doing it. Growing sometimes means leaving things behind. A teacher named Epictetus was born as a slave. He could have spent his whole life being mad and wishing he had a different life. Instead, he found freedom in the one spot no chains could ever touch, his own mind. He grew in those hard times, not just even though things were bad, but because they were bad. He later taught that it isn't what happens to you that matters, but how you act when it does. His whole way of thinking came from finding a way to grow in the worst dirt. This isn't about just being happy all the time. This isn't about pretending that bad things are actually gifts. Some things that happen to us are really, truly awful. Being sad is real. Losing something you love is real. People being mean or unfair is real. But even in those dark, low spots, even when growing is the last thing you want to do, the truth stays the same. You can either let the pain make you smaller, or you can let it make you deeper. You can come out of it grumpy and mad, or you can come out of it as a better person. Not because the pain was good, but because you have the power to decide what to do with it. Say it every morning. Growing happens right here. Say it when things are easy and when things feel impossible. Say it when you are excited and when you are totally worn out. You are teaching your brain to see every second as a chance to get better. You are building a version of yourself that doesn't hide from a challenge. You are becoming someone who knows that the best things in life are waiting on the other side of the things that scare you most. Number 3, right now is what counts. Yesterday is like a ghost. Tomorrow is just a promise that nobody can be 100% sure of. But right now is breathing. Today is actually here. It is the only piece of paper where you can really draw your picture. When you get out of bed and tell yourself, today matters most, you are breaking out of two traps that keep most people stuck. Feeling sad about things that already happened and being scared of things that haven't happened yet. You are dropping your anchor in the only time that is real. The wise Stoic thinkers were very serious about this fact. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Keep yourself in the present." He didn't say the past or future weren't important. He meant that right now is the only place where your strength lives. Think about how much brain power you throw away. You replay a talk you had last month, wishing you had said something else. You feel bad about mistakes from years ago, punishing yourself for choices you can't go back and fix. Or you jump ahead to next week or next year, making up scary what-if stories in your head. You practice fights that might never even happen. You worry about things you can't predict. While you do that, today slides right through your fingers like water. The one day you actually have power over turns into a blur because you were too busy living everywhere except for now. This isn't just a fancy idea. It is how you survive. When you split your focus between old regrets and new fears, you are only half awake for the present. You miss out on cool chances because your mind is somewhere else. You hurt your friendships because you aren't really there with the person in front of you. You make bad choices because you are reacting to ghosts instead of answering the real world. When you say, "Today matters most" every morning, you are teaching your brain to come home. Home to this breath, home to this second, home to the only time and place where you can actually build the life you want. You aren't ignoring the past. You are just choosing not to live in it. You aren't pretending the future isn't coming. You are just choosing not to let it freeze you. Here is how this works in real life. You wake up and your mind is already sprinting ahead to all the things you have to do this week. Meetings, homework, and chores pile up like a mountain you have to climb. The weight of it all makes your chest feel heavy before your feet even touch the rug. Worry floods in because your brain is trying to solve 5 days' worth of problems all at once. But you have practiced. Today matters most. You say those words and feel your mind shift. Yes, those other things exist, but right now, what really needs you? Making your bed, drinking some water, moving your body, or maybe talking to someone you love. The future will show up one tiny bit at a time. You don't need to carry the whole week right now. You only need to show up for today. Or maybe your trap is the past. You are haunted by a version of yourself that made different choices. You feel ashamed of who you used to be. You can't forgive yourself for missing a chance or hurting someone. That heavy weight follows you everywhere, making every new day feel stained by old mistakes. You want to move forward, but you keep looking behind you. Today matters most. Those 3 words are your hall pass to let go of what you cannot change. Not because the past doesn't matter, but because drowning in it doesn't help anyone, especially not you. The person you were did the best they could with what they knew back then. The person you are now has learned from those times. Today is where you get to use those lessons. Today is where you get a do-over, not by fixing yesterday, but by writing today in a different way. A man named Seneca spent years being sent away from his home and his job. He could have spent every second being mad about what was stolen from him or terrified of what might happen next. Instead, he wrote some of his best work during that time. He understood that every day was like a whole life in miniature. He wrote, "Start living right away and count each single day as its own life." Every morning was a brand new start. Every night was a finished story. He squeezed every bit of meaning out of the present because it was all he really had. This way of thinking changes everything. When you stop trading your happiness today for things you might win in the future, you actually get more done. When you stop leaking energy into a past you can't fix, you have more power for the things you face today. You become someone who is truly here, really there in conversations, wide awake for fun times and busy with what is, instead of being scared of what might be. Say it every morning. Today matters most. Let those words pull you into the now. Let them remind you that this day, this one-of-a-kind collection of hours, is your real life. Not someday and not back then. Today, right here, right now. This is where you build everything that counts. Let me see this in the comments. I am fully alive in this moment. Number 4. I have everything I need already. You have been believing a fib for so long that it started to feel like the truth. It's the fib that says you must do more before you are allowed to feel calm. That you need to win more prizes before you can take a break. that you need to fix every little thing about yourself before you deserve to be loved. That lie has stolen years of your life. It stops today. When you wake up and say, "I am enough," you aren't saying you are perfect. You are saying you are complete just as you are. You are telling the world that your value doesn't depend on how much work you get done. Your worth isn't measured by how many people give you a thumbs up. Being a human isn't a contest you have to win. The wise Stoics understood this deep down. A teacher named Epictetus taught that our true self, our ability to think clearly and be good, is already finished inside of us. He said, "A wise person doesn't feel sad about what they don't have, but stays happy about what they do have." You already own the things that matter most. You just forgot to look for them. The world has tricked you into feeling like you are missing a piece. Every commercial whispers that you aren't finished until you buy their toy. Every time you look at a screen, it feels like everyone else has found a secret that you don't know yet. Every comparison tells you that you are losing the race. The running machine never stops. Finish this goal, then the next, then the one after that. Get this much money, then get double. Reach this level of success, then climb even higher. The finish line keeps moving because the game is a trick. You were never supposed to get to the end. You were just supposed to keep chasing. But what if you hopped off that machine? What if you stood still and asked, "Who decided I wasn't good enough yet? Where did this ruler come from? When did I say it was okay for my trophies to decide my worth?" The answer might surprise you. You never actually said it was okay. It was sneaked into your brain so slowly and so often that you just thought that's how life works. When you say, "I am enough," every morning, you are cleaning out those old bad ideas. You are remembering a truth that was there before the world taught you to doubt yourself. You came into this world being enough. No baby wonders if they are worthy of love. No little kid thinks they need to finish a big project before they are allowed to take up space. That feeling of belonging is still inside you, buried under years of stuff, but it's still there, still true, and still waiting for you to remember it. Here is what changes when you believe this. You stop performing so people will like you. You stop twisting yourself into different shapes just to make others happy while hurting yourself. You make choices based on what you believe is right, instead of what will look cool to people who don't even really know you. You say no without feeling bad. You say yes without asking for permission. You exist without feeling like you have to say sorry for being you. Imagine someone questions your choices. In the past, their doubt would have made you feel like you were failing. You would have spent hours or days arguing with yourself, trying to prove to an invisible judge that you did the right thing, looking for someone else to say you were okay. But you have fixed your mind. I am enough. Their opinion is just a thought in their head. It doesn't change reality. It doesn't change your value. You can listen to what they think without letting their disagreement break you. Or maybe the not enough voice comes from inside. You look in the mirror and see only the things you don't like. You look at your life and see only what is missing, never what you actually have. You compare your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20 and feel like a loser. That inner bully never stops, picking on everything you do and everything you are. It acts like it's protecting you, but it's actually like a drop of poison. I am enough. When you say these words, you aren't making the bully go quiet forever. You are choosing not to let it have the last word. You are hearing the voice without doing what it says. You are saying, "I hear you, but I don't work for you anymore." Your worthiness is not up for a vote. Whether you are enough or not isn't decided by how you feel on your worst days. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful leader in the world, still had to work on this. He wrote notes to himself about how tiny he was in the giant universe. He didn't do this to feel small, but to free himself from the pressure of needing to be more than just a human. He knew that knowing he had limits wasn't weak, it was smart. He wrote, "Very little is needed for a happy life. It is all inside you in the way you think. Everything you need to be whole is already inside you. Say it every morning. I am enough. Say it even when, especially when, you don't believe it yet. You aren't trying to trick yourself into a fairy tale. You are reminding yourself of a fact the world made you forget. You are complete. You are whole. You are enough. Share this promise below. My worth is not up for debate." Number 5. Tell the truth faster. Most people don't get stuck because they lack talent. They get stuck because they live in half-truths, little lies, delays, soft excuses, and polite silence that slowly rot their self-respect. You say, I'm fine, when you're not. You say tomorrow when you mean I'm scared. You say maybe when the truth is no. And every time you do that, you teach your mind a dangerous lesson. Your real voice doesn't matter. This task is about rebuilding inner authority, not by becoming rude, but by becoming clean, clear, honest, direct. Over the next 30 days, practice telling the truth faster, especially in small moments where you usually hide. That means speak your real boundary the first time. Admit what you actually want before you negotiate against yourself. Say what you mean without decorating it. Start with one simple rule: no delayed honesty. If you need time, say, I need time. If you don't want something, say, no. If something bothered you, say, that bothered me. Not as an attack, just as reality. Here's why this changes everything. Half-truths create mental noise. They produce anxiety because your mind keeps tracking what you didn't say. You replay conversations, you overthink, you feel tight in your chest, because part of you knows you abandoned yourself again. But when you tell the truth quickly, you stop leaking energy. You stop carrying invisible weight. Daily practice. Once per day, say one honest sentence you normally avoid. Once per week, have one clean conversation you've been postponing. Each time you feel the urge to sugarcoat, pause and ask, what is the simplest true sentence? This is not about drama, it's about freedom. A strong life is built on clean truth. When you speak clearly, your mind respects you. When your mind respects you, confidence becomes natural. Write this promise somewhere you'll see it. I don't betray myself to keep peace. Number 6, build your inner standard. Your life becomes whatever you tolerate, not what you want, not what you dream about, what you allow repeatedly. The world trains you to live by moods, opinions, and outside pressure, but the Stoics had a different idea. Real strength is living by a standard, a private code that doesn't change when the day changes. This task is about building that code, then obeying it. For the next 30 days, choose 3 non-negotiables, 3 behaviors that define who you are even on hard days. They must be small enough to do daily, but meaningful enough to shape your identity. Examples. Pick your own. I do not speak to myself with contempt. I keep my word in small things. I do one hard thing before comfort. I don't chase validation before action. I don't abandon my values to avoid discomfort. Your standard is not a goal. It's a line you don't cross. Here's the key. You don't rise to motivation. You fall to your default. Your inner standard becomes your default when you rehearse it daily. So every morning, read your 3 non-negotiables out loud. Every night, review them honestly. Daily practice. Morning. Read your 3 rules. 30 seconds. Midday. Ask once, am I acting like my standard? Night. Score yourself 0 to 3. No guilt, only data. Why this works? When life gets chaotic, you won't have time to think. You'll act from whatever you trained. If you train your standard, you don't need to feel ready. You just execute your code. This is how you become unshakable, not by controlling the world, but by controlling the terms under which you live inside it. And when you live by a standard long enough, something rare happens. Your mind stops arguing with you. It starts following you. Number 7, I let go of the wheel. Your hands are tired from holding on so tight. Your brain is worn out from trying to plan every little thing that happens. You have been fighting a fight that no one can win, trying to force life to follow a story that only you have written. It is costing you your peace and making it hard to take a deep breath without feeling worried. When you wake up and say, I let go of the wheel, you aren't saying that everything should be a mess, you are just admitting the truth. You are agreeing with what the wise thinkers always said. There are things you can change, and there are things you can't, and most things fall into the can't pile. A teacher named Epictetus said to do your best with what you can control and just take everything else as it comes. This isn't being lazy, this is real power. It is the power that comes from knowing where your job ends and where you just have to say, okay. Think about all the things you've been trying to boss around, what people think of you, how fast your dreams come true, or whether the people you love do what you want them to do. You might try to control how fast you get over being sad, how strangers act, or how things turn out even after you've done your best. You can't control any of that. But you have used up so much energy trying. That energy could have gone into things you actually can change, like your own hard work, your mood, your learning, and how you answer people. The idea that we can control everything is a trick. It makes us feel safe. We think if we just plan perfectly and check every detail, nothing bad will happen. But life doesn't work that way. The tighter you squeeze, the more life slips away, like trying to hold a handful of water. The more you try to manage every tiny result, the more you hurt yourself. Control is a fairy tale, and chasing it is exhausting. When you say, "I let go of the wheel" every morning, you are practicing a very hard but very free skill. You are teaching yourself the difference between helping and controlling. You can help many things. You can try hard. You can be kind. You can speak clearly. You can say what is okay and what isn't. You can make plans. But after you have done your part, you have to let go. You have to trust. Not trust that everything will happen exactly like you want, but trust that you will be okay no matter what happens. Here is what that looks like. Imagine you care a lot about a friend who is making choices that hurt them. You have told them how you feel. You have tried to help. You have been there for them. But they are still on a path you cannot walk for them. Every part of you wants to save them and force them to do what is right, but you can't. That feeling of not being able to help sits heavy in your chest. I let go of the wheel. When you say those words, something changes. Not for them, but for you. You can still love them and be there, but you stop feeling like their choices are your fault. You stop letting their problems steal your happiness. You realize that everyone has their own path to walk. Your job isn't to write their story. Your job is to be the best version of you. Or maybe you are trying to boss around time itself. You have a list of things you thought you'd have done by now, but life had different ideas. There were wrong turns you didn't pick and waits that made no sense. Doors slammed shut when you thought they'd stay open. Now you are mad at time or mad at yourself for not being there yet. I let go of the wheel. You don't get to decide the schedule. You can work hard and keep going, but you can't force a flower to bloom before it's ready. You can't rush something that is still growing. A wise man named Seneca wrote that luck is just being ready when a chance shows up. Your job is to get ready. When the chance shows up is not up to you. Accepting this doesn't mean giving up. It means doing your best today and letting tomorrow take care of itself. Marcus Aurelius led whole armies, but couldn't pick who won every fight. He ran a huge empire, but couldn't stop sickness or people being mean. He learned to focus only on what was his heart, his choices, and his answers. He wrote that you always have the choice to not have an opinion about something. There is no need to get upset about things you can't change. He found freedom by letting go of what was never his to keep. Say it every morning. I let go of the wheel. Feel your shoulders relax. Feel your face soften. You aren't quitting. You are handing it over. You are trusting life enough to stop fighting it. You are becoming someone who does their part and accepts the rest. In that, okay, you will find the peace you've been looking for. Type this if you feel it. I trust the path I cannot see. 5 words, 5 lessons, and 5 keys to unlock a mind that has been its own jailer. 1. I pick how I act. 2. Growing happens right here. 3. Right now is what counts. 4. I am enough. 5. I let go of the wheel. These aren't just words. They are the floor and walls of a new you. They are the language of someone who has decided that how they feel inside matters more than what is happening outside. They are the voice of someone who knows that fixing your brain is how you survive. The wise people didn't come up with these rules when things were easy. They made them during wars, while they were slaves, and when they were very sad. They left us a map. Not because they knew everything, but because they asked the same things you are asking. How do I stay calm in a mess? How do I get stronger through pain? How do I live a big life in a world I can't control? You fix your mind one morning at a time, one word at a time, and one choice at a time. There will be days you forget and go back to your old ways. That's okay. That's just being a human. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep trying. You need to wake up and talk to yourself like you deserve a beautiful life, because you do. These 5 words are waiting for you every morning. They won't work unless you do the work. But if you show up and let them guide you, they will change you. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Your mind is listening. What will you tell it tomorrow? If this helped you, click the like button. Write your favorite saying in the comments. Send this to a friend who needs it. And join us because we are just getting started. Your change matters. Your growth matters. You matter. Leave your promise below. I am the builder of my own mind.